Great. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Good afternoon. Let's see. Queen. Nope, I did not catch that one. You know what? Let's lead off with a comparison of our indices with the dollar. All right. So up until lunch hour, we had dollar as well as all indices trading the same way. Everyone was short. We had indices trading short with the exception of the 11 o'clock hour, where we had doji candles coming from the S&P as well as Nasdaq. Dow was right on cue as it has been going against the S&P and Nasdaq, being bearish for pretty much every hour since pre-market session. And we had the Dow, the dollar selling off based on the news that was announced this morning. The news event came in, I believe, at 9:45. It came in and looked positive for the dollar, but then there was another news event that came in at 10, and it was definitely negative. So it looks like the dollar has absorbed all of that and traded much lower actually, lower than Friday's low. And let's see where it is now. Okay, so it's trading at levels not seen since mid-May, like May 15th. We also have relative equal lows, so I would expect the dollar to trade up in this area and then attack these lows. Let's get rid of some of these. Oh, Pauletta, Laughter, JR, Pray and Trade, Molly. Good afternoon, everyone. Assuming that Nasdaq doesn't want to just wait around for the dollar to reach whatever a higher target is looking for, as it's trading towards the fair value gap just above where it is, I would just make an assumption that we're gonna maybe push towards the low of this gap here. Mhm. Yep, yeah, I agree, Ray. It's not looking great for the bulls, but we'll see. It's still inside of the range where it can do something. But you're right. So far, it hasn't done very much. I mean, we had this impulse candle here about halfway through the lunch hour, but it immediately dropped below these equal lows. It didn't even make it to the fair value gap before doing so. Good thing is now we don't have that equal low situation. Nope, no, we don't. So currently we do not, but you're right. We're not getting that level of impulse that you would look for to feel comfortable and secure that price is turning around. Yeah, and in about 40 minutes, we'll have a pretty dominant, if price still stays in this area, pretty dominant 4 hour candle here. Um, but but yeah, it should be pretty interesting between 2 and 4 o'clock to see what we get based on the 4 hour candle I'm looking at now. Yeah, let's see if this turns into anything. Oh, Pauletta, nice. Excellent. Wow. Congrats on that. You know, let me move this over until it's confirmed. Now we're looking to see if we can get a bullish push here on this current candle. We have equal highs over here at 516 from about 12:35 to 12:45 time frame. All right, let's see how we close out this candle. About 50 seconds remaining. Stretch this over now. All right, so that's the 5-minute version. The 3-minute version, I would have probably taken this as the breaker, which would have allowed a close above and a retracement back inside. Let's see. And if I had seen this on the 1 minute, I definitely would have taken that level right there. The 1 minute gave you several opportunities to have a closure above and then a little dip back inside. Not a deep retracement, but still a retracement back inside. So far, delivery has been about 50 handles, 50 handles from a smaller breaker. If you took the larger breaker, it's been 35-ish. Yep. Yeah, we just might get a retracement during the macro, but we have another almost 20 minutes until that occurs, so I have to wait for a bit. Oops. waiting for the 3-minute one, just because the range is much smaller. $50 and $25. All right, we'll see what the macro brings us in about 15 minutes. Yeah, I would favor us going up to about 640, 650. The consequent encroachment of the bearish gap ahead of us up here, just above the midnight open. If this turns into a market maker buy model, then I would favor 710. Or return to the 830 open. Oh, thanks for reminding, Queen. We have the New York open. Or sorry, the New York high. I didn't mark it up. But I believe, yeah, London high. London high was already taken. Today's London high at least. Oh, what's going on, TJ? How you doing? Maybe it's waiting for another 5 minutes. We have the macro coming, so maybe that's going to be the opportunity to get in. 3 minutes. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the 1 minute, it's just been a bullish candle after another, all the way up for the last 35 minutes. It's not too bad. All right, we finally traded above the fair value gap. It's the first time we've been up here since we traded into it right at 1210. Oops, step away for just a couple minutes. I'll be right back. All right, we're in the macro now. Looks like we're getting the first real retracement here of the hour. Well, with the exception of this retracement. So we started the hour with a retracement that then sent bullish candles all the way until 145 on the 1 minute frame here. Yep, it is a little bit risky, but we'll see. But yeah, anyone who is in either of these breaker entries here was able to at least secure about 50 handles at minimum. Hey, Dofo, what's up? And anyone using Apex logged into Tradovate when in TradingView, do you ever get an error that says you can't trade this symbol through this broker? Hmm. All right, let me see what might be the problem here. All right, so it's working now, but I just disconnected my VPN, so I wonder if that was the issue. That since it couldn't validate exactly where I was, it wouldn't allow me to trade. I never had that issue when using Tradovate for Apex. I mean, for Topstep. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Well, I just reconnected my VPN, and now it looks like everything's okay. All right, we'll see. Let's see if it continues. Yeah, Queen. I'm on. I was on the same charts I've been on the whole time. Just I don't know, for whatever reason it wasn't working. Now I just put the VPN back on and it's still working. So we'll see. Maybe it's just one of those little quirks you have to deal with. Maybe refresh your screen a couple times and then it works. All right, so we are now into 2 o'clock hour. The last hour on the dollar really gave us nothing. So before we really get going in this hour, let's just take a review on where we finished up. So if we look at the dollar, this was the last hour. You can see really did nothing at all. Low range above, low range below, but close essentially where it started without doing much at all. But we did see the indices push higher. Each of them was very bullish for the hour, which was good. All three are coming out of bullish fair value gaps on the hourly time frame. So it's good to see them react and find some support in this area. We'll see if that continues for the rest of the afternoon. We're looking at just price action right now. Not quite there yet. We are still bullish, so that's not an issue, but um, not willing to say we're just going to keep running up for the rest of the day. I do like on the S&P how we have equal highs up here at the top from from New York high this morning. We have roughly the same, except it was the London high for the Dow. But I'll give it a little bit longer, a little bit more time to see if I feel like it's really going to continue charging higher. One thing I would like to see is a retracement back into those breakers that it just ran away from last hour. So that would be more comforting for me if we trade back there and then we see a bullish impulse out of that area. Because we do have relatively long wicks. So I can see price trading back down here. Looks like about 460 or so for Nasdaq. Roughly 52, 53 on the S&P. So So we'll continue to monitor price for that reason. But again, the dollar really didn't show up last hour. It gave us nothing. And we'll see what this hour brings. But I'll switch back over now. Oh, yeah, I'm a lot. I think it might be the VPN might be the issue because I'm sure some people try to use the VPN to overcome the issue of not trading futures out of certain countries. Yeah, it may be a situation where I just need to turn the VPN off during my trading day. See if we get a push lower. No, I don't use the VPN to trade crypto. No, I just use the VPN just in general as just for my computer. Hey, you're right. Somebody is lying. Well, for the week, I'm more bullish in Q and bearish dollar. And not to mention, we're sitting inside of bullish fair value gaps for the three indices. So I would be leaning towards believing the indices are going to push higher. And if the dollar push higher, it's only to get into that bearish fair value gap that's above us. Mm. Mm. Oh, okay. Yes, I'm talking about the 1 hour. Yep. That was the one I'm looking at. Yeah, let me take a look. I haven't looked at the 15-minute. Let me look at that. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's tapped into it 3 times already. Yeah, well, macro this time didn't really give us that much. In fact, it didn't really give us anything. It traded to consequent encroachment of this wick from 135, the 1335 candle, and that was about all it gave us. $15-minute fair value gap. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's draw that up so we can see exactly what it is you're talking about here. Okay. Okay. Finally, a retracement. Let's measure up what type of expansion leg we got. All right, so return to 50% gets us back into the breaker. We can trade into also the fair value gap here. Yeah, I'm favoring 18,500. CE of the 5-minute is at 18,495. So Like we just invalidated this 15-minute fair value gap. Oh, no, we didn't. Sorry. We just supported it by closing below. A short from here. Let's see if we wind up down here somewhere. Let's see. Now that we had a 4-hour candle close at 2 o'clock, the wick is at 18,496, consequent encroachment. That's a stretch. Move that out the way. We'll just have to be patient. Okay, hopefully we get a failure somewhere in here with these fair value gaps and trade below these equal lows, which then takes us into the breakers we're hoping to trade into. Let's slide back up to the 5-minute here. Okay, so we haven't even gotten to 38% yet, which is 524. We're looking at 507. If we go from the candle body, we're still looking at 50% being 521, 520. Yeah. All right. We still got a little ways to trade lower. Um, well, Triple C, I don't have a lot of info on the silver bullet. It's not a setup I actively trade any longer. So it's been months and months since I've traded that. Now I usually will go back and I'll say, okay, where's the silver bullet? And the silver bullet seems to work quite often. It's just the hard part for me is identifying which fair value gap is the silver bullet. So that's the issue I have. It's not whether it makes it to target. It's whether I can identify the silver bullet, because sometimes, or a lot of times, um, you can have a change in direction during that hour. And so catching it on the right side is not easy. Um, when it comes to the breaker, I'd say the breaker is, and you say it goes to target, right? So it depends on what your target is. I like to target 25 points. Other people like to target like um, recent highs or lows. Um, so it really depends on where you're trying to take it. But I don't have, exact numbers, but I would say it's definitely in the 80% range or above. Right. And when you back test, you'll figure that out. You can start looking at what, um, what do you like as targets? How do you want to trade it? Do you want to do a 1-to-1 trade? Are you looking for a 1-to-2 trade? Are you looking for a certain amount of handles to be your target? Like, so a lot of that will depend on what parameters you set up. But yeah, if you're asking when does it start out green or how often does it start out green, and then based on how you manage your trade will depend on if you make it to target. Yeah, it's the breaker. It's yeah, it's hard to deny that setup works. It absolutely does. Um, but again, whether you want 10 points, 20 points, 50 points will depend on you know, well that'll change the success rate based on where you're taking it. But just going green, uh, maybe going green 10 points, 10 handles, that's almost guaranteed on a breaker, right? Unless you're offsides. Now, if you're offsides, then right, then I don't know if it's necessarily the breaker that did that, because you can't take every breaker that you see. You have to take the breaker that is supported by something else. And in a lot of cases, what we like to do is on this channel is we like to support it with higher time frame, either um, a fair value gap or order block on the 1 hour or above, or a session high or low, whether that's a lunch high or low, whether that's the New York, London, Asia session, any of those. So if you can support your breaker with something of a higher time frame and also support it with market structure, it's almost hard not to at least get green and then manage the trade as you will from there. All right, still about 20 minutes away from our next macro. Again, that macro will be 250 to 310. So we did get a nice bullish reaction here. Got caught up in this 15-minute bearish fair value gap right at the upper limit of the bullish fair value gap from the 1 hour time frame. And you can see it extends from 367 all the way up to 570, right? So it's a 200-point fair value gap. So keep that in mind. But we have traded down to consequent encroachment during lunch over in this area. And then we found support pushed out back to the upper limit. And now we're consolidating sideways. So it's only a matter of time, most likely, before we get another bullish push higher. I'm hoping that it's happening during this macro. Maybe we can get a push down during the macro back into the breaker, hit the fair value gap, which is the unicorn setup. I have this trend line here just to show where we would expect it to touch. And then since it aligns with this time frame, I'm pleased with that. So I'm going to leave it up just to see if that works out. But, um, but yeah, if I had a crystal ball, that's how I would have price. I would have price flow that way. You know, probably something like this. And then and we can even stretch this higher. But we'll see if that plays out. At 10 and 20s. Okay. Yeah. When you find breakers, it is really hard not to get 20s. In your case, if you're looking for a higher success rate, I would say probably focus on taking them off of consequent encroachment. You'll get fewer entries, but you will also have a smaller stop loss. And when it moves out of the breaker, you already will have from wherever you entered until the edge of the breaker as sort of a built-in cushion already. In this case, it's going to be about 20 points. If you're able to get in at consequent encroachment and then it trades up to the edge of the breaker, you'll already be at 20 points before you get to the edge. And then if you're looking for another 10 or 20, then you can have a 40-point trade that way. Okay. And Queen, I forgot once again for our lunch session extremes. And there's the low. Oops, not that one. All right, so the high was traded immediately after lunch was over, which is not uncommon. That happens. And in fact, once that happened, we should have immediately started looking for shorts since we saw the session high taken. Oops, we go back. All right, it's going to test the lunch low again, it looks like. Oh, Art, what's up? Appreciate you stopping by. And I know the schedule doesn't fit everyone. Being able to trade all day. I know you guys, a lot of you are still full-time workers or in other countries. So I realize that it doesn't always align with your schedule, but I appreciate you stopping by, Art. Got the lunch. 12, 6:19. Oh, you know what? I completely goofed. Sorry about that, Queen. My bad. Yes, the 12 o'clock is over here. Jeez, yeah, we're up here. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Sorry. I screwed up. This is our lunch high. So we're still in the center of our range. Let me just put a range on the low to the high and then see where we are. Okay, so we traded as low as, well, once we traded above 50%, we were back here. So it's at 527. Flip this around. There we go. So we did a 70% retracement there. Pull back to 50%. And then price is just kind of now going sideways. Okay, that makes way more sense. A lot more sense. Thank you for that. Yeah, Triple C. I'll let you know when the setups are confirmed. Obviously, we already confirmed these on the lower end when we're buying up after the lunch hour. Right after 1 o'clock, we've already confirmed both of these setups, the 3 and the 5. And so, yeah, if any new ones show up, I'll point them out. Anyone who missed the morning session and you just joined this afternoon, keep in mind the Apex promotion of 90% off in a 1-day pass, as well as the 250,000 account for the same price as 50,000 evaluation account. That expires today. So you got about 8 or 9 hours remaining. You're right, Queen. There's no, if you lose it 8 to 10 times in a row off a breaker setup or unicorn setup, then you're definitely doing something wrong. Matter of fact, if you lose 3 in a row or so, you should raise your time frame. Yep. Yeah, I've been meaning to catch that one. I'll check that one out this afternoon, Queen. Dollar coming back alive this hour and pushing lower. Looks it just swept the lunch low. And now also the 11 a.m. low. So it just made a new low for the day. We are bullish on all 3 indices, led by the Dow. Okay. Just this hour, not overall, but this hour, the Dow has been stronger. All right, so Dow has taken lunch high. Took the lunch high first. The next one closest to the lunch high would be S&P. So we'll see if that one follows suit and grabs it next. And then Nasdaq obviously would be the Lone Ranger, not up to the lunch high just yet. Mm. All right, let me go to the 15-minute just to make sure we're all on the same page here. All right, there's 15-minute fair value gap right here. Boom. A little hard to see because there's so much green in this area. Yeah, I'm still hopeful that here in the next 5 minutes when we start the macro that we get some sort of crash lower, giving an optimal setup there. Might be wishful thinking, but I'm hopeful. All right, Triple C, catch you tomorrow. Have a good one. From noon. Wow. What's your buy limit, Milad? What are you looking for? See if we can't get the likes up for this final hour of trading today. We got about an hour, a little bit less than an hour and a half. Let's see if we can't get more than 31 likes in the room here. Sure, I know there's more of you who appreciate the stream. Testing our patience this afternoon. Mm-hmm. Yep, red folders all week. So that means we should have some good volatility, some good movement. Identify your targets early and then wait for them to happen. Yeah, Thursday might be slightly difficult just as we're waiting for NFP numbers on Friday. So you have to keep that in mind as well. But I'm hopeful that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will be good. So far Monday has not been bad, and we've got a nice range today, even though the last hour or so hasn't been a lot. But we did get a big push down from practically the 10 o'clock until just at lunchtime. Then we opened up after lunch with a nice 100-point bullish push. So I'm pleased with today's market structure and with the price movement. All right, let's see what this macro brings us. So we have until about 310 in this macro. Trading is boring. All right, relative equal lows at 535, relative equal lows at 527. This is all on the 1 minute. Yeah, thank you for hitting the like button. At least half of us are on board. I realize some of you are not logged in, so you can't like the stream. Mm-hmm. Yep, lonely no more. We could, or at least, be nice to have an office meet up to trade or something. Oh, he's having like a full blown seminar. Trade by Matt. 145. We're getting a lot of rejection out of that, but I still think manipulation. All right, yeah. Yeah, somebody was just telling me recently that Houston is known for having really good food. I had never heard that before. I don't doubt it, but I had never heard that before. Yeah, Malad, you run into not only the Texas heat, but the Texas humidity. Okay, all right. Queen has confirmed it. All right. I thought that someone was lying to me when they were talking about how great the food was, but Houston's on my list to visit. I haven't been to Houston since I was a child, so I don't really know much about the city. Oh, you're running south too as well, Queen? Hmm. All right. We got a failure here. I mean, I have price going to the midnight open, but I thought we'd get a retracement before. Yeah. Oh, you used to city life. Okay. Well, clean half your well, not half, but a good portion of your town hangs out with me in the wintertime. Yeah, we got a lot of people from Chicago hanging out in Phoenix during the winter. Canadians too, for that matter. Uh, yeah, my dad told me about that growing up, where sometimes depending on how the wind is, the wind can blow all the snow like up against your house and like block your front door, and your neighbor has to come dig you out. All right. Looks like that retracement may not happen. So those people got in at 110, 115 ish and managed to hold throughout this consolidation may actually get the lunch high here. Final hour of trading, everyone. We're in power hour. Mm, okay. All right. Well, let's jump over and take a peek at ES for anyone trading ES or just using it as confluence. Let's see what we got. Let's go to a lower time frame. So we had the same build up at 10 after 3, pushing outwards. Let's go back to the 5-minute, identify where our breaker is. And get that. $3-minute. Okay. Yeah, this was the last low to be taken. The last low taken at 212, just after the last breaker. I'm sorry, after the last macro session. We had a trade lower and then higher, higher low, higher high, higher low. And now we're looking to see if we get a higher highs and those equal highs there. So basically you start playing that external, internal range liquidity. So external, internal, external, internal, external, internal. Now we're looking to see what we get here. We basically got an equal high. Sweep lows possibly. Mm. Yeah, and NQ hasn't even taken this high over here. I mean, it put a wick above it, but it hasn't traded above and closed the 140 high. All right, dollar has made a new low this hour, swept last hour's low. Yeah. Yeah. Hang on, Ray. Get that payout. But congratulations. That's amazing. Are we working on a balanced price range? Not exactly. This area down here is balanced. So where the breaker is actually is balanced. So we did get a trade lower, higher, back lower again, and then trade out of the range. So this breaker actually is balanced. But then we have this piece right here where it traded lower here, traded higher over here and here. But it didn't trade all the way back down. But for the most part, yes, this price range is balanced. Now, if we look over at ES, let's look for the same thing. Yeah, we have the same here, right? And even if this is your breakaway gap down low, we still have this one that hasn't been traded back. So I would expect this one to get traded into. Right, you also run the issue of right here. So we had a swing point, trade it lower, put in a new low, trade it higher than the previous candle, put in a swing high right here, right? And we had this candle trade above the swing point and close, and it never came back. So again, we have this fair value gap space, this gap right here needs to be traded into. So between 267 and 264 needs to be traded into on S&P, and then on a NAS. Oops. Why does it always do that? Here's the swing high right there, traded above and closed. And it barely dipped a wick in there by one or two handles, maybe. But it never came back and touched 518. So we need 518 to be traded to. Oh, Robin, I didn't see you there. Hey, Robin, what's going on? Say New York hangs in Florida. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Chicago hangs out in Arizona. Setting up for the final macro of the day. We didn't really get much in this macro or the last one. That must mean 350 is going to be electric. That's good to hear, Robin. Excellent. Hopefully, hopefully it's helping out with and helping you able to see the market a little better. Yeah, let's see if we get a run up to the midnight open. It's 3:15. Mm, Captain 786. That's definitely possible. You can see that we haven't swept any lows, so these lows continue to be protected. So we're doing this sort of high low thing, right? And now we'll see where this goes. Hopefully this makes it higher. But each of the lows are higher lows as well. So it's looking good for price structure. The only thing is all it takes is one down candle and you can sweep this low, and this low. You can sweep them all. So I'm still favoring a move to the downside, but if that doesn't happen, then I don't have a trade and I'm okay with that. So I'm not, so I can't call a safe trade now and say, well, let's just get in for longs. I still want a retracement. I still want an entry model that matches my trading style. I'm sorry, slim trading. So high is considered a bearish breaker on the left. The NQ is in. No, this is a 15-minute fair value gap. So if you go on a 15-minute time frame, then it's in between this wick and this wick over here. So it's just a candle body there. That's all that is. Breakers on my screen are blue boxes. The blue boxes are breakers. So we have the 3 and the 5. The 5-minute. Which 5-minute? Can you give me an exact candle? Yeah, which time period? The left of the. Oh, so you're saying somewhere over here. Possibly here. Yeah, you could probably use that as a breaker there. Even though you kind of got consolidation in this range. So it's not the easiest one to see. You could also try the one below. So you could try here. And you can probably try this one as well. Only thing is they haven't, none of them really took liquidity. So yeah, the easiest one is probably this one up top. This is probably the easiest one to use. All right, trade below close, no trade back inside. Also, there's no fair value gap, so no unicorn setup here. Okay, we're now trading above the 15-minute fair value gap now. Wouldn't consider this an A plus setup for me. It is a breaker, but I wouldn't. It'd be hard for me to trade that one. If I was going to trade that one on this move back up to the lunch high, I'd look for another breaker to be formed over here. Hmm. Yeah, it looks like if you wanted to take that breaker, you would have had to use this one. So this candle right here at 1205 would have confirmed below. And then the next candle would have traded back inside. And then you would have been able to take that down. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I used to have the same issue. Slim. It's the same thing. So I typically, like, as price is trading lower and making new lows, I'm looking for reversals essentially. So I'm looking for a bullish breaker here, especially if we hit a 1 hour fair value gap, which this is. This is a 1 hour. I mean, it's 200 points, but it's still a 1 hour fair value gap. So it's higher time frame, and this is where I would be looking for a bullish breaker. In this area here, looking for a bearish one is only going to take you down to here, and then you're going to expect price to turn around. So it's going to be hard to win your trade inside of a 1 hour bullish fair value gap, unless there's a pool of liquidity down here that you know price wants to trade to. So in this case, it worked out because we hadn't traded back here since it was created. So it traded down to consequent encroachment. And that's where we got down here, and then price wanted to turn around. But typically I wouldn't be looking for a bearish setup right at the entry of a bullish fair value gap. Likewise, when price gets up here, I'm not looking for a bullish entry right here either. I'm looking to have already been in down here and then ride price through this area. Yep. So this actually might work out for you, Slim. So we have a lunch high right here at 18,618. And just above, we have the midnight open, as well as a bearish fair value gap here. I'm sorry, bearish. Yeah, it is a bearish fair value gap on the 1 hour. So what you would be looking for is once this high is taken and then you get up here around the midnight open, then you'd be looking for a breaker to set up here to then take price lower. But it will still need to be supported by whatever you have on your 1 hour time frame. So you want to definitely check those candles. All right, so we just spent the last, I don't know, hour or two in this area, and we saw it as being a 15-minute fair value gap here. Let me go ahead and pull back up our new week opening gap. Because that's what we were bumping up against. Right. Bumped into it once, 2, 3, sell off, back into it again, push lower, and now we finally broke through. In fact, I think somebody mentioned that we were in a new week opening gap. So the lime green is the new week opening gap. The gray area is a new day opening gap from a previous day. So sometime last week, May 30th, I think that was Friday or Thursday. All right, let me get those off the screen now. It's at 50% of the leg. All right, let me measure that up. Oh, I see, from the 945 high. Yep, we just crossed it. Just crossed it. We look at recovery after going and retesting at 578 level. Good idea. Good idea to put the blanks in the gun. All right, Mags. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining. Slim Trady, I'm still waiting for a retracement back into this empty space here and into the breaker. If we don't get that, then I'm okay holding off until later. Later meaning tomorrow. Right. Not sure what style trader you are or what you're looking for. But since 1:30, price has done this, so I don't know if that looks like a good entry or not for you, but for me, it's not. I know for scalpers, there's a ton of opportunities in this area, and they've been winning trades. So if that's the style trader that you are, then yes, there are plenty of opportunities here. But me, I'm looking for a retracement back down here. I'm sure some people will take the entry right here at this fair value gap, which was 570. Even if you take it back up to these equal highs, you're talking about almost a 30-point trade there. Yeah, but you could even target the lunch high, and if it reaches the lunch high, that would be about 50 handles. Yep, buys from bullish breaker. Yep. Oh, you're done for the day? Okay, got it. But yeah, that's what I would be looking for, a long from the bullish breaker. We are starting to run out of time though, but we have the 350 to 410 macro come in 7.5 minutes. So we'll see if that brings us something, but it could mean nothing. And if I don't get my entry, then yeah, we'll just ride this out to 10 after 4. We'll say our goodbyes and we'll jump on it tomorrow morning and see if price settles and then gives us another bullish setup, or it may give us another bearish setup. And in that case, we'll just take a short. But we do have NFP at the end of the week, so we'll see as we progress through the week where do we think the targets are going to be. I know early on I was thinking that we might go up and test some of our highs, mainly the thinking of like 880 area, and then the all-time high above that at 19025 area. But we got a lot of work to do before that happens. Yeah, I would say at this hour though, at this time, as we get close to the end, with the lunch high being the target, I think the likelihood that price retraces back down to the breaker and then reaches the lunch high in the next 25 minutes or so, it's starting to decrease. right, there's a new high for the hour here. Oh, here we go. Okay. 1 minute breakers that form inside. So you're looking for continuations. Oh, okay. Just if we get a close above that level, we're getting 1 minute bullish breaker, 597. Let's see. Yeah, we have the macro starting in 1 minute. 1 minute. You see if we get a close of. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you took this one. You took this breaker. Ooh. We got a trade above, below, trade above and a close, trade back into consequent encroachment here. And then you're going to be looking for the lunch high at 620 coming out of 585. So that's 35 points there. And you said you're just looking for 10? 10 to 20. Okay. Yeah, I will say I got really good results on 20, but they weren't all continuation breakers. They were reversals. Let's see if there's a tap into this consequent encroachment and a bullish push from there, and we'll see. We got 20 minutes left. We might actually get the midnight open, so we might get up to 640. All right, so that would have been a tap in. Seven. All right, if it makes it to the lunch high, that'll be 20 points above the breaker. Right. By the time it got out of the, it was basically 10 points just getting out of the breaker from 585 to, yeah. And here's another one. So that's once, twice, at least 2 times. There's 11, 12 points delivered. Let's see if it gets to the edge of this long tool, which would be 25 points at 611. So this is just us forward testing this setup, not actually taking a trade, just looking to see what's possible. All right, 5 minutes to the top of the hour. All right, there's 25 points right there. Let's see if he gets to the lunch high, which will be total of, oops, 25 exactly on this one. If it gets up to the lunch high, they were looking at 32 points there. Midnight open is 55. All right, there's 32. Let's see if it gives the 55. All right, so if you're taking an entry from here, Queen says the entry should be at the top, not at the 50%. Yeah, Queen, I took the 50%, just trying to reduce risk on a setup that I wouldn't see as a plus setup for me. Um, But yeah, I mean it could be 55 points from the 50% mark or 44 points from the edge of the breaker. Let's just see if it delivers up to 641 and a quarter. We'll see. All right, S&P looks like it wants to break through the bearish fair value gap that's in its way. It's a little more than 50% through it. Same for the Dow. It's more than 50% through. Nasdaq, we haven't reached our bearish fair value gap yet. Yep, dollar is definitely at its lowest point of the day. I mentioned earlier that it eclipsed the low from last hour, made a new low this hour, and now it's still trading at the lowest point. So it's definitely supporting bullish momentum for the indices. We need just a couple more points, and then it'll be 44 points delivered from the edge of the breaker, and there it is, or 55 points if you took it from 50% mark. And we did get a push through the bearish breaker, a bearish fair value gap on S&P. We almost have it on the Dow, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't do it here as well. So should push right through that fair value gap and at least get us to the top edge here. And there it is. So that's 55 from the edge of the breaker, or about 66 from the 50% mark. Yep. I know, yes. Whenever you get these kind of rallies at the end, it set up nice low entries for when 1800 comes around. All right, so I didn't get my entry this afternoon, so sat on my hands, but the market gave something. And these, at the end of the day, these sometimes are some of the best entries to take. I'm sure I sound like a broken record. I've said it so many times, but when you give the market 20 minutes and then it has to do something, it generally gives it to you. Let's see, what did it finally deliver? 63, and then 75 if you got it from 50%. All right, well, did anyone actually take that trade, or was everyone just watching with me? Oh, Dash, you took it. Excellent. Excellent. Awesome. Well, congrats to you. Rain trade, you scalped it. Okay. Well, you still got it. Don't be mad, Queen. Don't be mad. Oh, yeah, Ray. Your payouts were way more important than this. Was it? You said it was a unicorn on the 1 minute? Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yep. We got this fair value gap right here and it traded down right to it. I like it when the fair value gap sits on the consequent encroachment because that's an easy entry. You get it, the consequent encroachment, also the fair value gap, and then it usually does its thing, and you don't need a large stop loss for that. Like in fact, this right here was probably more than was required. I had it at 25 point stop, but you probably only needed like 15 or so. All right. All right, Captain, you got some of it? Good. Good job. Yeah, that's the thing, Queen. And you said you wanted to test out 10 to 20. That's the only reason why I threw it up there, just to, because you threw out the idea of testing it. But at least between 3:50 and 4 o'clock, you can get 10 to 20 points. Yep. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate your attendance and your participation today. Thank you for helping us out as usual. Anyone else? We got about 5 or 6 minutes left. Any questions? Anything that you want to ask or talk about? Vaughn. Okay, good job. Congrats to you. All right, Johan. If only I believed in all of my setups. Yeah, that's a good point. Since all of the sessions are recorded, sometimes when you're back testing or you're doing things, it's hard to see exactly where price is or how it's moving. And there's really no better tool than to have it recorded as it's printing. So 1 minute takes an actual minute to print. I mean, you can actually fast forward and make it double speed or something so it moves a little quicker, but then you can review how price is moving and see how you would react to what you see on the screen. Not necessarily just what you see me doing, but you can, have your own plan as to what you would do based on the way the candles are printing. And that's like, I used to always think about that before I was live streaming, is how could I record the price? So later on when I was back testing or when I was reviewing the daily price movement, how could I simulate being there real time? And since all the sessions are recorded, you actually can do that. Okay. Yep. Hopefully you're able to catch in later on, and then we can see what we can find later in the week. We do have NFP, so Friday is going to be a little delicate. Thursday afternoon might be a little slow, but outside of that, we should be fine. All right, Sylvester. Catch you tomorrow. Anyone who's dropping off and heading over to happy hour or whatever else you're doing with your evening, if you just can remember to hit the like button, just hit the thumbs up on the stream here. If you're new and this was your first time watching or you've watched a handful of times and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that as well. Make sure you don't miss out on any other reminders for the streams. Oh, yeah, I thought about that, Ladarius. either getting someone to do it or doing it myself, going out and editing them and then showing sort of, this was the move of the day. So then you could always go back to the price point that you should have caught the move of the day. And it's always something I could implement at some point. But for now, at least we have everything that's recorded and you can go back and look at how price was moving and hypothetically place your entries wherever you want them. All right, it looks like we've lost a lot of volume here after 4 o'clock. That typically happens. The price will settle down and not do a whole lot after the hour. All right, pray and trade. Catch you later. Don't see any other questions here. So I think we'll go ahead and end the stream now. Thank you all for being here once again. I had a good time as usual. I like the questions. Keep them coming. I like the participation. If you see an entry that you like, don't be afraid to call it out. And yeah, 9:15 tomorrow morning. Catch you all again. Take care. Have a good one.